Is your girl Miss Sophia the Diva? Um, uh, it's Happy Friday time, honey. Not sipping on anything. Just thought I would hop on here because again, I'm trying to do this at least once a week consistently on Friday nights. I will eventually probably set a time, but like I said, I'm just trying to get back into this. Um, Chilling here on a Friday night with my girls. Really don't have any topics to talk about. Today was an interesting day. Actually, this week has been an interesting week. Let's just say that. So, on a whim, because life has changed so drastically for me in the past couple of months with work and as I discussed, there was a topic, my very first topic on my return to YouTube was to talk about grief and losing a parent. Because, like so many of my friends over the past year, I watched them bury a parent, mother, father, whomever, and then sadly my turn came. And anyway, I kind of, since moving to Reno, Nevada, kind of have been like a homebody because I really don't know a lot of people here. And some things really just didn't go the way that I planned that they would go when I moved here. So I kind of just been just dealing with that and the reckoning of that. And so I decided to sign up. Well, first I asked my friends, I polled people on Facebook because I was like, yo, has anybody ever tried Facebook dating? Now, when I was in Atlanta, that was was that my first time? No, in Cali. I remember those of you who followed me over the years, I used to do a bit about being on jdate.com, how I just kept meeting all the short Jewish men. But yeah, so anyways, and people were like, don't do it, it's trash out there, and da da da. Well, we know the dating pool has trash, as we like to describe it. It's got raggedy ass paper, milk cartons, you name it. It's just, but there can be some good people out there, right? You just have to get out there, get outside. And plus, some people you probably would not meet if you weren't on the site, because some of the people that I've met, and discussed, they have these very demanding schedules, and we're working professionals, and so we ain't got time for bullshit. Basically, is what it is. We trying to get money and do what we got to do, right? So I signed up for Facebook dating. So far, have met some really nice people that are open to friendship, because really that's what I'm looking for. As many of you knew, I may not have stated with specificity, but so I was in a relationship for over a year, which I realize now probably should have been over probably back in October. I don't know why October I always have breakups. But if you cannot be there for me at my lowest, then you've just shown me who you really are. And so after my dad died, this individual kind of just went ghost. Now, for whatever reason, he has his own reasons. Maybe he just couldn't be an emotional support person. I don't know. So far it's been great. Like I said, had a couple of conversations, connected with a couple of people. One person in particular I'm like really feeling, so we'll see how that goes. But it's just good to get out. But what I wanted to talk about, because as soon as I said I put myself back out on dating, one of my friends was like, oh my God, be careful, because this girl just got, dismembered and murdered by this dude that she went out on a date with. Well, one of the things that, I don't know why people do this, especially when it's someone online, and Anyone can change on you. Y'all could have been married 20 years, and next thing you know, he nailing you to the cross and about to chop you up. I mean, I'm just saying, because people get crazy and desperate. I watch too much ID channel, apparently, because I just got off the phone with my friend. He was like, yeah, you go to sleep to it too? Yeah, I do. It's very comforting and soothing for me. Um, but people can switch up on you. But one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about tonight was online dating and how you can be a little bit more diligent and smarter when it comes to that so that things like that won't happen to you. And apparently there was a young lady, a college student, bless her heart, rest her soul, praying for her family, um, was murdered by a guy she went out on a date with. She was, what, 21, 19, something like that. I don't remember. He's like 33, 36. I don't remember. It was one of the divisible by 3 numbers. Um, and so they went out for dinner. Then they went to a bar. But then after the bar, she went back to his house. Young men, young ladies, let's not do that. Let's be smarter about it. I don't care how comfortable you feel about someone, you need to kind of learn a little bit more about them before you start hanging out at the house, okay? Especially on the first date. I'm sure that he probably made her feel comfortable or whatever. But my whole thing is when I'm dating someone, I kind of really need to get to know you. And, I need to do some due diligence. You need to get you some friends that have been verified accounts or attorneys or law enforcement, because there's so much information out there that could save your life, because you don't want to be one of these people that end up talking about I almost died, or you come out of a situation in a body bag, or maybe never to be found, because there's so many out there. And I love the ID channel. Anyone who knows me knows, because I like true crime. Like I say, I tell anyone, honestly, what I should have done with my life, I should have just went on and majored in psychology and got my doctorate and went on to go work at Cornico as a behavioral analyst and a profiler of some sort, because I really enjoy the human mind and the disturbances of it. But yeah, we got to be we got to keep our head on swivel, so to speak. You can't just be going to folk houses, because if you tell me on the first date you want me to come and eat at your house, or you want to come to my house, that ain't gonna happen. And let me tell y'all, and men too, y'all need to be careful, because women are just as crazy as men. I don't know what your relationships, you be same sex, folk crazy. I was watching an episode of, I don't remember what it was, but some Russian lady was taking advantage of men and women. Like, she murdered this woman's mother for her wealth. Excuse me. But then she runs off after they figure out, like, the jig is up. We know you killed this woman. Moves to America and takes advantage of this guy, invites him over for dinner, saying that she can really eat, cook, and he said he didn't know what the hell happened. All he know, he got robbed. She went to his job, the dry cleaners, and literally cleaned him out there. And like, that's why you can't go to everybody's house, not just because they might have cats sitting on top of the table, but because you just can't, you don't know. Then one lady, because the lady looked like her, she was trying to assume her identity, poisoned her with cheesecake. I'm just like, this shit wouldn't. Don't invite people over to your house, okay? Until you kind of have been able to vet them. You never really know anyone, but you just kind of need to do some due diligence and be patient and look for red flags and weird shit. What else happened? One lady, and that's another thing. Some of these people will give you half truths. Okay? What does that mean? Lies of omissions are very, very real. Okay? This one lady, I remember this episode because I was like, girl, are you dense? You should have never married this man. But you know what? I don't know that lady full story. All I know, she kept using the fact that she did not have a father figure in her life and therefore did not have the compass or the direction of a father could possibly give if he was an active father. Um, you know, so in some ways, the guy that she ended up with that almost killed her essentially was like a father figure. And so when she met him, he did admit to the fact that he had been to prison for assault and battery because he almost killed a guy, as he told it, who was his wife was cheating with. He caught them in the act and almost beat the man to death. Well, as it turns out, that was true, but not true. There was some gaps there. Okay. Come to find out, he done beat the wife to death almost. He was very abusive. She had to file a restraining order. And, he got sent away to prison. Had she known that full story, and it was old enough for her to be able to go online and Google some shit. Google is your friend, but sometimes you got to pay for the free information that's really out there. Because one thing about being verified, it will gather all this information and tell you whether this person has a criminal record. I remember there was a guy that I was talking to, and I did meet up with him. It was a meet and greet, went for a walk, seemed nice. And I remember he had said something about when he was a teenager, when he should have been graduating from high school, he was in jail for breaking and entering. But I found the file, and it was more to it than that. And I was like, yeah, no. And plus, he had said something that kind of made me like, yeah, maybe I should let that go. Needless to say, he was a little perturbed by that. But I'm like, no, you're possibly crazy. You were crazy then, and you might still be crazy. All I'm saying is y'all need to be careful. Because it's dangerous out there. I keep my head on swivel, do my due diligence. The tax assessor's office is also a good place to start too. Especially if you get somebody's address and they claim that they live alone and they bought this house. And then it might be when you find out it's a couple that bought this house and not him solo dolo. And them the kind you gotta watch out for, they probably shoot your ass. Lord knows he was a gun enthusiast. What else was I going to talk about tonight? But yeah, be cautious is all I'm saying. Meeting new people can be exciting and it can be a huge dopamine rush, but don't rush into anything and don't be foolish, okay? Public places and spaces are cool. Maybe by the 5th date or so, I would suggest, yes, you can come over. Now, I have had people over before and I felt comfortable with them too. At that time, I had a roommate, so it was okay. No, but I take that back. Let me say this. This is a man I just knew I was going to marry, but he broke my heart and damn near made me lose my goddamn mind. But when I lived in Atlanta, I remember I met someone that I felt so simpatico with that I remember we met at Sublime Donuts up there by Georgia Tech. Then we ended up going to Atlantic Station and walking around and just chit-chatting. Like, it was a date that never ended. That's how we clicked, so I thought. And then he was like, do you want to go? Are you hungry? I'm hungry. You ever been to Fellini's? No, I've never been to Fellini's. So we went to Fellini's on Ponce. But I rode with him in his car. And I don't know why he did it. I mean, because it was so simpatico, and we ended up being together for almost a year, very much, I thought, in love with one another. But he was this covert narcissistic sociopath, so who almost broke me. Yeah, y'all would have seen, y'all would have seen, if I didn't have Miss Pumpkin back then, I had to take her out for walks and stuff, I definitely would not have, I would have been in a bathrobe and probably would have been in the house for a good 2 months. Because at that time, I wasn't working, and so I was on the verge. So anyway, sometimes those situations can work out, but why take a gamble? I don't know what was going on with me. Um, oh, so did anyone ever get the full story about what happened with this person who in New York set himself on fire, but it had something to do with NYU or something to that effect? Because at first I thought he was going to burn for Trump. I was like, because folk crazy. Folk love angry wigs. Some people really do. And, you know, and the lady, I forgot what her name is, the black reporter for CNN, y'all need to give her a raise and a promotion. Baby, she was like color commentating that whole thing. She did the damn thing. I, so like somebody else said in one of the comments on Instagram, I would have probably been cursed. Oh, this motherfucker done lit his ass on fire. No, but she was very professional. She stayed cool and calm. And shout out to her. Her name escapes me at this moment, but she did the damn thing. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead. But I think that's pretty much it. As I told you, I'm still going through the grieving process. But that has been very difficult due to some things that have been going on at work. When I moved to Reno, I was so excited to join this group in this organization, and I thought it would be really awesome. And as it turns out, there are just some things that just can't be overcome. Okay. You would think that when you have an employee who has experienced the trauma that I experienced, and it happened, I had to get that announcement at work. Like, I'm answering my phone, I had no clue. And I'm glad that I did answer, because I would much rather not have a missed call. And yeah, but there is no grace, there is no mercy. And I was talking to a friend, and he was telling me, he said, at the end of the day, no one owes us anything. But I quite frankly feel that there is some truth. No, the world don't owe us shit. That's true. But I feel that at the very least, there should be respect and some form of integrity. And it's just really, really sad that there are people out there that give no grace and pretend that you don't have feelings. And then I thought about it too today, because I came across one of my pages that I follow on Instagram, and it was talking about the strong black woman, because we know we see it all the time, especially when we talk about childbirth with black women. Black women are often considered to be some of the strongest women on the planet, and we're tired of it. And I've been saying that for years, but to see it there in tan and black, because that's how it was written, please stop calling us strong black women, because that is a myth. That is not real. We feel, we have mental issues, all of this from trying to carry the world on our shoulders. And sometimes I wonder if they think that, oh, let's bend and see how far will she break. I swear sometimes I wonder if those are the games that are being played, because it's always assumed that black women are the strongest, and we're not. We're just as vulnerable as anyone else. We're just as sensitive as anyone else. I'm very, very sensitive to a fault. And so I'm like, we're tired. All of us are tired, I think, in general. You look at the elections and the landscape of this country, we are... Ava, do you still have water in there? You need some water? Hold on, y'all. Let me get my baby some water. She up here leaking the bottom of the bowl, Jesus. But yeah, and it's very unfortunate. And I talk about it. I'm not, if someone from that organization sees it, so be it. But it needs to be said. You can't expect someone to come back from bereavement after not being really given a lot of time to be off, or afforded the time to be off, and they expect them to come back at 100%, and then basically try to, um, criticize them. But tables turn, things happen. God sees all and knows all. So, it's just a matter of time. Because one of the things I've learned in this life is that sometimes some battles, as the song goes, it's not yours, it's the Lord. Let Him, let go, and let God, okay? So that's what I'm pretty much trying to do. But from a cathartic perspective and from a therapeutic perspective, it's just good to talk about it without really like talking about it. But y'all continue to pray for me because it ain't easy. There are some days when I truly, truly just want to give up. Not suicide. Please, no. Just sometimes I just want to bury myself in the covers and snuggle with my pups and let that be that. Because Lord knows this life, it's not meant to be easy, because to live is to suffer, and to suffer is to live. Shout out to DMX, may he rest in peace. But sometimes it just gets to be too much, and it's more than some people can bear. And that's why I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I always try to give people grace, and I always try to consider that maybe there's something this person is going through, and maybe they just need a little bit of grace and a little bit of time. Because I always, like I tell people, I try to look at things from a full 360. I analyze it from all angles, sides, top, bottom, horizontal, vertical, Unfortunately, not everyone is designed that way, and unfortunately, people don't take into consideration the feelings and the backgrounds of others. And yeah. So anyways, as I said in my first video on my return back to YouTube, employers, even if you can't afford to give them paid time away, when someone has a catastrophic major loss, at least give grace. The brain is still foggy, the mind is still foggy. Sometimes they're just holding it together. Give grace. I was talking to one of my friends, and she was telling me, she said, yeah, we knew, oh girl, her sister just died out of nowhere. Or she knew she was going to die, but, I think she had like terminal cancer or something. And, they were like, they kind of picked up the slack for her for a couple of months until, she got kind of back reacclimated. Because like she was like, I think 3 months is more than reasonable to like give somebody time to kind of get themselves together. And so, but unfortunately that hasn't been. But like I said, maybe there were plans already in motion. I don't know before what happened, but that's neither here nor there. And thank you for listening. Willow also says thank you for listening. Girlfriend. I swear I love being a dog mom to my 2 girls, Lady Ava Marie and Willow Beyonce Wilhelmina Misdemeanor. Yes, her name is Willow Beyonce, aka Blonde Ambition, and Lady Ava Marie, my Conde Corso. She is boss lady number 2, because we all know who the number 1 boss was, right? Her name was Miss Pumpkin Honey. Yes. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Anyways, y'all who are out there dating and trying to find that mate, the love of your life, or just or your special friend, you get to be my age. Yeah, special friend. Oh my goodness. So anyway, y'all be great. Go be great, as my friend Shamir often says. And I will hoop and holler at y'all later. And I'll find something else to talk about, because I used to do a Diva Disturbed. But I really don't watch the news like that, Anyways, but let me get up here. Good night, everybody. Have a fabulous weekend.